Hi friends, today I'm going to be reading aloud to you Collisions. A collision is an interaction between two objects that physically come in contact with each other. Each object exerts a force that is equal and opposite to each other. The force exerted by each object depends on the amount of energy each object has. Most collisions involve at least one moving object. A moving object collides with a stationary object, or a moving object collides with a second moving object. During a collision, the motion of each object changes. This means that the speed of each object changes and/or the direction of the motion of each object changes. The change in its motion indicates that energy of the object changes. Energy changes because energy is transferred or transformed. During a collision, energy is conserved. This means that the total energy of the system remains the same. The system includes the objects and the things around the objects that collide. This includes the surface on which objects rest, the surrounding air, and objects that collide. In most collisions, usually at least one object has mechanical energy, specifically kinetic energy because it's moving. When this object collides with another object, some of its kinetic energy is transferred to the other object, and some of the kinetic energy is transformed. Most often, kinetic energy is transformed or dissipated into thermal energy and sound energy. There are two types of collisions: elastic collisions and inelastic collisions. An elastic collision is a collision in which kinetic energy is conserved. Kinetic energy may transfer from one object to the other object, but kinetic energy does not transform. For example, two bulbs move towards each other and collide. They bounce off each other and move in opposite directions with the same speed. However, most collisions are inelastic collisions. An inelastic collision is a collision in which kinetic energy is not conserved. At least some kinetic energy transforms into a different form of energy, such as thermal or sound energy. For example, a moving car crashes into a tree. The car comes to a complete stop. The kinetic energy of the car is transformed into thermal energy and sound energy. Thank you for listening.